TomoNews presents Airports.
Attention please, this is the final call.
Dutch researchers propose circular airport runways. Scientists in the Netherlands are working at the country's aerospace center to develop circular airport runways. Researchers at the Endless Runway, a project funded by the European Commission, believe circular runways could have several benefits, including being more environmentally friendly and less noisy. The group proposes constructing a 3.5-kilometer wide circular runway with banked sides, divided into 18 runway segments, with the airport terminal in the center of the circle. The length of the circular runway would be equal to 3 straight runways, while being able to handle the air traffic of 4. Circular runways would allow planes to land and take off at any point in the circle. Pilots would be able to land in directions with the most favorable weather conditions, while avoiding difficult maneuvers in situations such as strong crosswinds. The circular design would also mean aircraft coming into land circle the airport fewer times, thus using less fuel. The design allows for 3 planes to land and take off at the same time. Because of centrifugal forces, planes would automatically go slower and move toward the center of the runway. Circular runways could also limit noise pollution by spreading it more evenly around the airport. The U.S. military conducted tests in the 1960s with circular runways, but commercial circular runways have never been built. Sleeping pods allow people to catch some shut-eye, pretty much anywhere. Google is famously known for these babies, but they're not the only company that allows workers to sleep at work. With the London Olympics approaching back in 2012, one local English company anticipated that heavy traffic would affect employees' commutes. So the company built sleeping pods that allowed employees to sleep in the office with privacy. These sleeping pods included a single mattress, while more advanced models also featured a stereo and a mirror. And now people can also choose to sleep with some privacy and dignity at airports instead of sprawling across several seats in front of gawking onlookers. Abu Dhabi International Airport was the first airport in the world to offer sleeping pods in 2013, although the service has since extended to many other airports worldwide, from Dallas-Fort Worth to London Gatwick. Abu Dhabi's Go Sleep sleeping pods allow users to lie completely flat. Each pod is able to partly or fully block out sounds in the busy airport, depending on the user's preference. Later stage pods will offer Wi-Fi access, power sockets for charging electronic devices, and space to store luggage under the cushion. The Go Sleep sleeping pods can be rented out for about $12 an hour, or about the price of 3 coffees. As we grow more aware of the myriad of health issues that come with sleep deprivation, sleeping pods seem increasingly desirable.
2 passenger jets in close call at Chicago Airport. 2 passenger jets narrowly avoided a collision on Tuesday evening after they attempted to take off at the same time on intersecting runways at Chicago's Midway International Airport. A Southwest Airlines flight heading to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and a Delta Airlines flight heading to Atlanta nearly collided at Chicago's Midway International Airport on Tuesday. Southwest Airlines Flight 2838 was cleared for takeoff on runway 31 Center just before 7:40 p.m. As the plane began to speed down the runway, Delta Airlines Flight 1328 began its takeoff on runway 4 right without clearance. Airport controllers spotted the trouble and ordered the Delta plane to stop immediately. The Southwest plane also chose to abort its takeoff. The aircraft stopped more than 2,000 feet from the runway intersection. The FAA is investigating whether the similar flight numbers of the planes may have contributed to the close call.
Woman tries to steal corporate jet from St. Louis Airport. A St. Louis woman is now facing charges after she tried to jack a corporate jet from the St. Louis downtown airport. 38-year-old Naima Watts was able to get past manned security gates in her vehicle in her attempt to fly like a G6. She then was able to get onto an unlocked corporate jet owned by a Hong Kong bank. Security noticed something was wrong because the steps were left down. Jet aviation workers saw Watts trying to start the plane, but the battery was disconnected because of maintenance. She originally told the cops she wanted to fly to China, but then later said she wanted to fly to New York. Warts told authorities she's mentally ill and stopped taking medication for bipolar disorder and schizophrenia weeks ago. She's been charged with burglary and is being held on $25,000 bond.
Rapper Wiz Khalifa detained at LAX airport for riding hoverboard. The only thing Wiz Khalifa raps about more than getting high is being fly, so when the chance to literally do that came along, he couldn't help cruising through the Los Angeles International Airport on a glider. But customs officials at LAX didn't take too kindly to his mode of transportation. He claimed on Twitter he was riding a hoverboard through the airport, but it was really a two-wheeled glider. Maybe he was too high to notice the fact that the wheels were touching the ground.
You can't do nothing anyway. What you gonna do? Put me in jail because I didn't listen to what you say? You can't do nothing. We can talk. We can have all the conversations you want to. You can end up on TMZ. That's gonna become as famous as you want it.
Customs officers harassed the rapper for riding the glider. Then they tackled him to the ground and took him to flight school. He was just trying to get on his level, but the customs officers didn't like the way he rolled up.
Stop resisting! Stop resisting! I'm not resisting, sir. I'm not resisting, sir. I'm not resisting, sir. I'm not resisting, sir. I'm not resisting. I'm not resisting, sir.
He was detained around 4 o'clock on Saturday, but they let him go because there aren't any rules against riding an electric-powered glider through the airport. The video isn't shot on VHS, it's just an app that makes it look like that. Wiz tweeted, "Haven't been slammed and cuffed in a while, that was fun." Followed by the video of officers harassing him with the caption, "All because I didn't want to ditch the technology everyone will be using in the next 6 months. Do what you want, kids." His final thoughts on the encounter? "I stand for our generation, and our generation is going to be riding hoverboards. So if you don't like it, eat a dick." The popular hip-hop artist has been arrested a few times before for possession of cannabis. No surprise there, as his consumption of marijuana is legendary and highly publicized as part of his image. He did ride his gold glider through LAX without incident a few days before being detained, but maybe next time he'll think twice before he rides his glider on his way to take a plane.
This is what the airport of the future might look like. A UK company has released a concept of what airports will be like by the year 2040, and they look a whole lot more efficient and passenger-friendly than today's airports. In the future, airline passengers will be expected to check in via self-service desks, which include biometric scanners that can scan passengers' facial features, iris patterns, and fingerprints in order to verify their identities. After check-in, a biometric token will be issued and stored in the passenger's smartphone. This serves as a boarding pass and ID. Luggage can be checked in at drop-off points. Laser molecular body scanners can detect even tiny quantities of dangerous materials in the passenger's clothing or their luggage without the need for a body search. Passengers may buy duty-free goods from virtual shopping stations and have the goods delivered to their homes. Airports in the future may need to expand their runways and parking facilities to cope with the increasing size of aircraft and the number of passengers. Airport control is likely to be operated remotely from outside the airport, with staff monitoring live video footage of the facility. Upon arrival, passengers will be notified when their luggage is ready for collection. When an airport enters the full self-service phase, passengers will get help from virtual assistants. And in fact, many such technologies are already being implemented. For example, biometric scanners are currently being trialed at Heathrow and Schiphol airports.
Puppy abandoned in airport bathroom by abused owner. Tomo sapiens, grab a box of tissues while you still can. This 3-month-old puppy was found alone in a Las Vegas airport bathroom, accompanied by this note. The letter tells a sad tale of an owner trying to escape an abusive relationship, left with no choice but to leave behind Chewy, her miniature chihuahua. The handwritten note details that the owner was involved in some sort of domestic dispute with her boyfriend. In the heat of the moment, little Chewy got caught in the middle and allegedly received a kick to the head from the enraged boyfriend. Running for her life, the owner rushed to McCarran Airport with Chewy in hand. She claims she couldn't afford the cost of getting the pup on the flight and instead left Chewy in the airport bathroom, hoping a compassionate soul out there would find him and get the bump on his head checked out. Chewy's sad story was posted to Twitter on July 3rd. A local dog rescue has since taken him in, and reports dozens of kind people have already stepped up and applied to give Chewy a new home. Looks like the little guy's gonna be alright. Here's hoping his mom got the help she needed too.
Schoolgirl gets past Moscow airport security and flies to St. Petersburg. An 11-year-old schoolgirl, driven by her strong desire to see St. Petersburg, managed to get past airport security without a ticket or any ID at Moscow's Vunyunko airport last Monday. The security video shows the girl walking around in a crowd of passengers waiting to be checked by the customs officials. After deciding which line to take, she successfully sneaks past the officials by walking behind two passengers, then boards a plane to fly all the way to St. Petersburg. Both the airport and Russia Airlines, which somehow allowed the girl to board the flight without her providing any identification, are now facing an investigation.
Beijing is building a massive new airport. A new mega-sized airport being built in China could shift the balance of power in the country's airline industry. Beijing's new 6-pier, radial-shaped airport will cover an area of 313,000 square meters. The airport is being built in an area that overlaps Daxing District in Beijing and Guanyang District of Langfang, Hebei Province. The airport will serve Beijing, Tianjin, and Hebei. Flag carrier Air China dominates the current Beijing airport. Its regional rivals, China Eastern Airlines, control Shanghai, while China Southern Airlines hold Guangzhou. The new airport will allow China Eastern and China Southern a 40% share of passengers each, which may encourage the two provincial airlines to open lucrative new North American routes. It's estimated that the current Beijing Capital International Airport and the new airport will handle a combined annual total of 170 million passengers with their 7 runways by 2025. However, experts worry that because only about 20% of the airspace of China is open to civilian flights, the expansion will result in extremely heavy air traffic. China is not only a world leader in airport size, but also in flight delays. Its 3 biggest airlines were ranked the least punctual of the world's major carriers last year.
JFK tests smart airport software. Software designed to reduce queues and ensure a smooth experience for passengers has gone on trial at Terminal 4 of New York's JFK Airport. The Biontra system pulls information from the airport operational database. This includes passenger profiles, flight schedules, and real-time info on data such as adverse weather conditions. The system uses the data to produce a graph showing when waiting times will peak at airport bottlenecks. This information is shared with airlines, immigration, and security officials, so they can deploy enough staff to handle the volume of passengers moving through the airport. Currently, the system displays passenger forecasts for today and the next 2 days, but can potentially provide forecasts up to 90 days in advance. The system is used by more than 30 airports in Europe and Asia, and JFK is the first U.S. airport to test it. Around 20 million passengers pass through JFK's Terminal 4 each year, hopefully with fewer delays from now on.
Taoyuan Airport, the longest immigration lines in Asia? President Ma Ying-jeou has done much in recent years to promote Taiwan as a tourism hotspot, in hopes of luring in sightseers from abroad. One thing Ma appears to have overlooked in his quest to seek more tourism dollars, though, is the fact that first impressions matter. And for foreign nationals, who sadly don't have the luxury of taking advantage of the automated immigration gates on offer for citizens and residents, the first notable thing they're likely to come across in Taiwan are Taoyuan Airport's absurdly long immigration lines. The apparently poorly staffed facility, which serves the nation's capital, can charitably be referred to as having among the longest immigration lines in Asia that we here in TomoNews have come across. With too many chiefs and not enough Indians, thanks in part to Ma's less than stellar record when it comes to encouraging bureaucratic efficiency, it looks like for at least the foreseeable future, we're gonna have to continue to suck it up and deal with it.